Episode 41!
Welcome back, everybody!
Pickle Nick!
Oh, Jesus.
I just seen the fucking
You saw such a Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty.
I'm late with everything, dude. Zelda, Rick and Morty, kind of guy. Like I have to
You're
let
behind the
everybody
ball.
else.
You know why? It's because you like to live in the past.
I do.
I'm gonna watch Red Wings hockey and play Halo all day.
Woo! What kind of life is that? That sounds
Horrible!
amazing.
When was the last time you done either of those things?
Watch hockey?
Red Wings hockey.
Well, I can't right now.
Because they suck dick!
Can you watch Chicago hockey?
I didn't say anything about them,
But
did I?
you got a third round pick.
I don't set myself up for that shit.
Stupid.
Anyways, this is Passive and Aggressive. In case you don't know, I am Dalton Johnson. I'm the passive one. I'll be your calm and gentle guide throughout this bullshit experience where we talk about our Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk about Game of Thrones.
Quitting weed.
The video games we're playing as we're quitting weed. It's
Breath of the Wild.
surprisingly entertaining, you know. Weed's not putting us down.
Skyrim. Is it called Skyrim?
It is called Skyrim.
Isn't it like Elder Scrolls?
The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. There's been 4 other ones before it. There was Morrowind, there was Oblivion, other way around. There was Oblivion, then Morrowind, and then the one
So
before
it's
that.
Elder Scrolls game, but it's called Skyrim.
You got it. What else? NBA playoffs.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors doing ridiculous things.
You don't look at the camera, bro.
Keep doing it. It's a force of habit. Don't call it out. It's never going to change.
Kawhi's making history, guys.
We'll see.
Game 7.
We'll give you a little preview of
New
the...
buzzer beater. Bunk, bunk. It's going to be an extra bounce.
That can't happen twice. Can't happen twice. We'll give you a little preview of the NBA Finals and then lead into some MMA talk. Who do we talk about?
Uriah Faber Return.
Yeah.
His Polaris loss. We also talked about Nate and Showtime briefly, a little breakdown. We didn't talk about the fight that's happening. This is going to be uploaded on Tuesday, the 28th. There's a fight Saturday. It's Gus versus Lionheart.
So we'll do a little preview before that episode. Probably come out Friday or Saturday
No,
itself.
we're not going to do that. It's because that's the only.
not?
It's not a pay-per-view. It's
Gotcha.
It's just that fight. There's a couple other good fights on it, but it's not worth the preview. Where we'll do a recap.
I got you.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay tuned.
Enjoy. Mandalorian TV show.
Yeah, just said all that, man. Don't recap specifically.
I recapped the Marvel ones, bitch. Fuck.
That's what I said. Disney is Marvel.
I broke them down more.
You're a douchebag. Moving on.
That's true.
Even though it doesn't do anything.
We're live.
Hello.
Oh my god. We're back, motherfuckers.
How's it going, guys?
Are they going to respond to that right now?
They
Or
could.
even
You never
ask
know. Ding just got an email. It's from our one listener. It's my mom.
Hey.
She said she's doing
We
good.
have at least
Mama Carol's
20
doing well.
listeners. At least.
You're right. I've seen
So-
the numbers. I've seen them.
Thank you, our fellow listeners. We're
What a
making
milestone.
it. One listener at a time. Hey,
Oh, well.
if we get one listener extra, a podcast.
Uh-huh.
By the time we hit 1,000, we have 1,000 listeners.
It's really looking far ahead. What episode is this? Number 41.
41.
Today
motherfuckers.
is May 27th.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. We are not doing anything America related. We are recording a podcast about video games, fighting.
But we can give a little shout out to the troops.
It's
everybody
actually
who,
there's
died
going
and
to be a big section, I believe,
sacrificed.
about Toronto, Canada.
Hey!
Instead of America. So
You don't gotta talk about Canada while I'm trying to like help the troops. Not help them, but like give them.
you're not doing shit
give
for the
them shout-outs.
troops.
I appreciate it. I almost joined the.
Appreciate it.
I almost joined the Air Force and the Navy SEALs a couple times.
I dated a girl from the Air Force.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do I know her?
Yeah.
All right, she now.
You set me up with her, you dingleberry.
Oh, my ex's best friend.
Yes.
She was in the Air Force.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Now you know.
Well, you should text her and say thank you for your service.
I honestly,
See what she says.
I can't believe I still have her number in my phone.
You do?
I need to
You
clean
gotta
that
do
shit
it.
out.
You gotta do it.
I need to clean it all
You
out.
absolutely have to do it.
There's no way that's happening. That'd be incredibly
We're
awkward.
gonna get one listener, aka hopefully your mom, to say you gotta do it. On next episode, you gotta say thank you for your service.
It's not gonna
I know
happen.
it's a week late, but I just wanted to let you know. I appreciated that you sacrificed a lot of time and effort and pain and suffering and all that good shit for me, your ex. P.S.
What?
Our love, Dalton.
What are you talking about?
Boom.
I was on track there for a little bit, and then it just slipped away. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Well, we
Confusing
can
the shit out of me.
get back at it. We can get back. We can,
Bring it back.
Yes. So what did you do on your Memorial Day weekend?
I wanted, very specifically, to do fucking nothing. For so long, I just want a weekend where, from the start to the finish, I'm just doing me,
You
relaxing.
had a very long weekend. You can't just.
I know. I still have 2 days ahead of me, so
Right.
you know.
Right. You're pretty good. I feel like
I'm
yesterday
definitely pretty
you
good.
had like
I got 1 day yesterday. Tomorrow will probably be my next day. Today, obviously, we're recording. We got some editing to do as well. Saturday, I took my niece to see Detective Pikachu. It was a birthday.
For the second time, right?
I saw it for the second time. She had never seen it. Obviously, she's like 6 years old.
I never asked
7
you
years old.
how did she like it or not? Well, first of all, does she know Pokemon at all?
It's hard to tell. They watch the show, but I can't tell if they watch like
what show? There's like
Pokemon.
There's a Pokemon show right now that's
There has been for probably 18 or so years now.
It's the same one?
It's still going. Ash is still 10 years old.
Seriously? So is it Ash with like updated Pokemon?
Yes.
That's badass. Where is it at? I had no idea.
It has literally been going on forever.
What TV? What
channel? Network?
Channel,
I have actually no idea. I'm not sure. It probably moved around a little bit, but you can definitely still find the episodes online.
That's cool.
I'm assuming there'll be another series with a new game coming out, which we'll get to that in a little bit in the gaming corner, but there's going to be some previews for the next Pokemon games very soon.
Pokemon stands the test of time.
It really does.
It's like
Harry Potter movies or Star Wars movies.
Mario, Zelda. It's on their caliber now.
It's timeless.
Yeah, for sure. They probably sold more. Actually, I don't know about that.
That'd be interesting to see.
If you like,
I'd be interested to see the
you
numbers.
include the Pokemon card sales and all that, it has to be more than Mario.
I don't think so. Mario's up there as one of like the most profitable media things.
Tetris is like number one or one of them.
No, Grand Theft Auto is supposed to be number one. We've had this conversation before, and the numbers are weird. Sales versus like online microtransaction shit.
Best game of all time, though,
yeah,
Zelda.
Either way. So there's still a Pokemon show, and I'm pretty sure that's what she watches. So she doesn't know like all the Pokemon. She was like, "Is that your favorite?" Pointing to Charmander. I was like, "No,
that's my roommate's favorite."
She's like, "Oh, okay." So she was definitely into it, and she definitely enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. One of the things
is it watchable second time?
Oh, definitely. And not only that, but we've stopped smoking. And one of the things we always do, like when we play video games or watch movies, is got blaze up right beforehand. Because, I don't know.
Why the fuck not?
That's how you experience things, right?
Have you fucking listened to Seth Rogen and Pineapple Express? It makes everything better.
You're exactly right. But I didn't do it this time. Still enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a quality movie. It got like, what, a 75 rating? I could not find any, like,
it had a lot
holes
of hate
in it
from the critics.
I don't see why. It was a solid film. It was not like jumping out of the water great, but there was nothing specifically wrong with it. The pacing wise, the writing, the twist, although I saw it come in like 30 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah, like
no one else that I talked to has.
The tomato meter has it as a 66%. The audience has it as a 82%.
That sounds about right.
Which is for a game movie.
That's
it's
the
probably
best.
Like the best.
It is the best. The 75 rating is the best video game adaptation.
Well, there you go. I fucking loved that movie when we watched it. I thought it was hilarious.
Surprisingly funny, yeah.
It had a lot of adult jokes that weren't like crude. Kids wouldn't be like, our parents wouldn't be baffled because their kids heard
can't watch this.
Right. There was a lot of jokes that the adults would understand. Kind of like the Looney Tunes back in the day where like kids could watch it and enjoy
little innuendos.
And then the adults would watch it and just start laughing at shit too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I was thrown way off about Ryan Reynolds being the dad.
Like I said, I saw that coming like 30 minutes away. As soon as Mewtwo said, people in Pokemon can be the same thing, that's when I was like, oh, so that's what they did with his dad, clearly. Because they kept saying that he was like pushing him away, which is exactly what his dad was doing, blah, blah, blah.
I was not trying to plot the movie at all, think about what's going to happen. I got thrown off way, like just completely baffled, and I was going through anxiety when those big-ass tortoises,
the Torterra,
whatever they are, they had like their mega evolution, or I don't know how the fuck they got so
Dude,
goddamn big.
one of the
they
kids
were like falling to their death.
Yes.
That was fucking terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying.
One of the kids at this party, one of my niece's friends, was predicting this shit as it goes. Like, oh, those are Torterra. They can grow really big. And then they do it. And they're like, see, I told you.
That's ridiculous. Cool. It's probably...
that girl was a fucking pro.
But back in the day, we were pros like that with all the OG Pokemon.
Dude, this chick's 6. I don't think so.
Motherfucker.
I don't fucking think so. You're like, I love Charizard. Oh, look, Charizard.
When did the Game Boy come out? When did the Game Boy come out?
I don't fucking know. I didn't play it till I was like 8. I know that much. My sister played it beforehand. I picked it up. I got my ass beat by the first gym. I know that much.
You think that we probably weren't that smart about
it? No, I was dumb. Well, I had to get my sister's help.
You have to understand too,
because I was trying to fight a Pikachu against a rock type. I just kept doing it over and over and over and over again.
You're something special. You never been really traditional.
Don't project onto me, you dingleberry.
Figuring out. What did you say? Puzzle-based games earlier?
Fuck you! This is why I don't tell you shit. This is why I don't come to you. I don't confide in you in confidence because you just reveal all my shit.
But you gotta understand too, with children, all they have to do their entire day is play
Fuck
fucking
about.
game.
Yeah,
It's like it's all they do. They don't have responsibilities, so that's why they're balls deep in it, and that's why they know so much about whatever they're passionate about.
It's true. All the little boys that were at this party were talking about Fortnite and how good their classmates are at Fortnite and like ranking each other. Like, no, Steven's way better than you at Fortnite. He can like build something like so fast. I was like, kids, stop.
I mean, I get it. It's cool. It sucks that Fortnite is like the thing now. Just because
one of the kids got V-Bucks for his birthday.
What's that?
That's the virtual currency.
Just to buy like outfits skins and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, cool. Good for them. They have fun.
I guess so. Poor parents, though. Wasted money like that.
So you did say, though, that this is we stopped smoking.
Yes.
And yesterday was like your first official day of not smoking.
Yes. I did scrounge up a little bit towards the end of the day. It was like 2 a.m. I couldn't
sleep. So you didn't... Oh, so you couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the number one thing I told you, like...
That always happens.
When you quit, you're going to have a hard time.
It's a little like refractory period. You got to get back into a normal schedule.
I've stopped since last Sunday. So like 11 or 8 days ago. Mm-hmm. And this isn't my first time quitting smoking since I've been like a full-time pothead. Like I've done it a couple times. So I was like, I knew what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. For me personally, I get irritable way faster, especially like the first week of not smoking. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's not like a horrible thing, but
I'm aggravated without it. My saddest days are without it. Yeah. My sadder days are the loudest.
Blowing smoke.
Blowing strong.
Oh, whatever.
Learn the lyrics.
Shut up, man.
Bro. I'm so disappointed in you.
All I'm going to say is the first night I couldn't sleep for shit. So like, I kind of like, and I quit on a Sunday and I worked. Obviously, I work on Monday. No. So it's kind of, I was setting myself up to have a bad week.
Yeah, you were.
Because I couldn't sleep for shit. Then I got like maybe 2 hours of sleep on Sunday. Went into work, tired, annoyed, just like very irritable. Mm-hmm. And I was like letting every little thing bother me at work. And like, if you guys listen to the past couple podcasts, I was talking about how I was supposed to have like a career opportunity at my work. And they were just like, we like you, but blah, blah, blah. They made excuses. And I was like, okay, dope. So now I know where my stand is in this company. And I know that I want more than that in life. So I'm going to venture out, which is cool. Yeah. And, but at the time when you're very irritable, you don't get much sleep and all that.
Fuck you guys.
Exactly.
Quit right now.
I had that fuck you mentality, which I knew I was like, okay, I know how this path goes. I know if I have a fuck you mentality at work long term, it just makes me miserable. I come home miserable, makes people around me miserable, and it's not a fucking good thing. So
it doesn't help you in any way.
Right. So what I focused on was working out, because I know for me, as The Rock says, you got to find your anchor in life. Whatever your anchor is to keep you grounded, keep you humble, keep your head right. For me, it's working out. It's kind of like just like his.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to copy him or nothing.
You don't look anything like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Hope you know.
Anyways, so I was working out like a lot last week, which is nice because every time I worked out, kind of gave me a brain refresher and helped me just kind of like have like a
reset
grasp
almost.
Or a bigger grasp on what I wanted to do on my goals and all that. And I will say too, I felt a lot healthier when I quit smoking. Not because of the weed, because I can't control my urges at night when I'm high sometimes.
Oh, you're talking healthier like your body and shit.
Yes. Like after getting through like the first couple of days of being irritable and like getting sleep again and like being able to sleep without it, I started noticing, I'm not eating 2,000 calories right before I go to bed by splurging on bullshit, because I'm not hungry. When I'm high, I'll mindlessly eat.
It's not even hunger, really. It's just I feel like I want to taste something right now.
Yeah, it tastes good.
So I'm gonna.
And like I'll eat like a hot dog, like those chips look pretty good.
And then you just stop paying attention to it.
I'll eat some chips too, and like there's something else in here. I'll fucking eat that too. And right before I go to bed, which is like the worst thing to do, right? Yeah. I'll like intermittent fast all day till noon.
Fucking ruin it.
Eat a healthy lunch, eat a healthy dinner, and then smoke, and then just fucking splurge on shit. Mm-hmm. And I'd wake up every morning like I didn't even really notice it because I was doing it for so long, but now that I wasn't splurging, like I felt like, damn, I don't feel really bloated at all. I don't feel like
mildly nauseous in the morning.
Right. Yeah, I wake up and I feel like a little bit like my stomach's like emptier, and like I feel like I can I have a little bit more energy, and I feel like when I do eat, I appreciate it more. I feel like I eat and I get full, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I can focus on other things.
Instead of overindulging.
Yeah. So it's a good thing overall. So I'm not saying I'm never gonna smoke again. I'm definitely gonna smoke again. But ideally, I would love to get to a point where I can smoke and control my urges. Because if not, then I'm gonna have to limit myself to where I'm not smoking every night. Because I think that's the healthiest thing I should do. True. I'd much rather have a best of both worlds. There's nothing wrong with splurging, and there's nothing wrong with take like being unhealthy every once in a while. You can,
as long as it doesn't turn into like a regular dependency,
right?
Which it's easy to fall into that trap a little bit. I think we've all done it.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Yeah,
and not just with weed, with anything, with whatever your crutch is. And
too much of anything is dangerous.
Right. So that's pretty much how my week has gone as far as weed goes. But everything else, I feel like I've been pretty productive.
It's been weird. Things have been oddly positive lately.
It's a good thing.
I feel like it's a whole household, but I mean, Sam and I haven't quit smoking till like today or yesterday.
Right.
So,
but she's also been like working out with me now.
Same. Yeah.
Right. She's we've been working out together at the gym, and it's like scientifically proven. You work out, you release endorphins, and you start to feel better. You feel accomplished. You get that self-satisfaction that you put hard work in, even though it sucks. You accomplished it, and then you feel better about it. And then also too, like just like Friday we did a lot of landscaping in the front yard, or in the backyard
for like 8 hours.
Yeah, we just busted ass. We like took out a bunch of dirt that we had, like this patch of dirt in between our driveway and sidewalk. And it just looks ugly.
There's a bunch of mud covering like some pavement that was there.
Right, weeds and stuff like that. Man, we gotta get something done. And Friday we were planning to like do a lot of shit. Like I was in the gutters, putting filters in the gutters because we just got brand new gutters, and I don't want to have to consistently go up there and clean them. So I put filters up there so I don't have to clean them a couple times a year and shit like that. And I was doing that, and then Sam was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna start digging." And
gonna start
figure this out. And it was nice. We completely like remodeled that whole part. We found a bunch of pavers that were dug up behind the garage, or like that we dug up behind the garage, and completely remodeled it for free, just in the stuff in the backyard.
Using the pavement that was already there.
Right. And some plants that were already built, planted in the backyard. We just removed them and designed it. We obviously, when Sam started it, I knew it was going to be a lot of work because I've done that work before.
You didn't want to do it, did you?
No, I did not. I was like, because once you start that, you have to finish it. Because if not,
can't just leave giant holes in your
and
soon-to-be muddy yard.
We knew it was going to rain this weekend,
yeah.
So we didn't want to have big piles of dirt and everything. So I was like, fuck. So I had to like call in the cavalry, call my mom, get a wheelbarrow and shit. And we both like got overwhelmed a couple of times, but it was not like where we were like getting really bad and negative with each other. We were just
getting
fuck,
challenged.
This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
We ended up busting it out. Sam found this cool cement. It's a cement stone that somebody made, but they put a bunch of like glass and designs to make it look like a dog. Like it looked like a German, like not a German Shepherd, it's a lab or something. Yeah. And it had like a nice little, like, the little church glass that's like designed with the red.
The stained glass appearance, yeah.
They made like a little stone for it. And
that's a headstone.
Pretty sure it's a headstone. My sister, like, there might be a dog buried under there. I mean, you might be right. But we didn't dig deep enough to find out. We just stole the stone. We put it in the new landscaping design that we made, and it looks pretty nice.
It does, yeah.
Proud of it.
Fits well.
Get a workout from doing so.
Should mention that when he says we, it was not myself included in there. I do not partake in yard work. No siree.
Yeah, but you made dinner and all that.
I have started cooking.
Which is nice.
Which we talked about. I don't know.
Surprisingly decent cook. I'll give him that.
It's not that surprising. I think we started like...
It's pretty surprising. Last time he cooked, he almost burnt the fucking house.
That was not the last time I cooked. We talked about it like a few weeks ago. I started cooking again. I made like 3 eggs or some shit.
4 times.
And then I cooked twice this week.
The last 4 times he cooked.
So there was literally one time before the time I just did. So yeah, I guess 4 if you want to go all the way back.
That's not that much cooking though, is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't need to. You guys cook literally every day. Just like I can't do my fucking laundry because you have laundry every day.
Got a lot of clothes, man.
You know, I got to work my schedule around you fuckers. So I started cooking. I made what? First time it was...
You made a breaded chicken.
It was a honey garlic breaded chicken.
It's good.
It's pretty good. A little sweet. And then when you guys were gardening, I made this chicken mozzarella potato bake. Because I knew you guys would be taking a while.
And like a stir fry.
Yeah. And it took like an hour tops, which was a good wasted time for you, but... Still didn't eat it till like 3 hours later. I was just sitting there afterwards.
I felt bad because you were waiting for us to eat. And
I wasn't like waiting. I was just, I don't know. I felt like I had done my part, but you guys had still been going on your 7th hour. So I was like, still not doing that much right now.
Right. Well, we definitely didn't expect to do all that day.
Yeah.
But once Sam started doing it, I knew we had to finish it. So we were like, fuck it. Let's just get it done. And it was worth it because we woke up Saturday morning like, oh, it looks pretty nice.
And then we had the gang over for a big shindig, barbecued in the backyard. You were able to make use of that.
We had our own Memorial Day little family
party, yeah.
Our friend family day.
Yeah.
Grilled up some corn, some potatoes, chicken, hot dogs, hamburgers. Took my mom's little fire pit. Eventually, we wanted to build our own fire pit, but we did not want to do that yesterday or
so you got
Saturday.
Nice little standing one instead.
Right. Had people over, played Mario Kart, Smash, the Switch games,
Usual shit.
drink games, play Flip Cup, shit like that. It was fun.
It was very fun, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and then Sunday, like you said, you had your introvert relaxing day.
Yeah, you guys went to the beach
We
and
went
got
to the
rained.
fucking beach, and it rained literally the entire time. And it was like 70 degrees. So 70 degrees and rain is chilly. It's cold. And
especially on the water.
yeah, at first I was miserable because I planned it for my entire family. Like, hey, let's go Sunday because everybody has off. The weather is showing it's supposed to rain all day Saturday, which it didn't, and it's supposed to be just cloudy on Sunday, so it should work out.
Opposite happened. Rained for like 3 hours on Saturday.
It rained for literally like the whole 6-7 hours we were at the beach. It rained, but us and like 3 other families, the only dumbasses,
You're toughing it out, huh?
And it was nice because it wasn't packed. Because on Memorial Day weekend, wherever you go, it's gonna be fucking packed.
Yeah,
but it wasn't packed. The dogs got to come. Got to see Jack swim for the first time, which was cool. My aunt brought her St. Bernard and her Great Dane, who I've never seen before, and they got to play. And Jax was surprisingly the best dog there, the best well-behaved dog there, and he was the youngest dog.
He's
as
only
well.
like 4 months old or something like that.
6 months.
Oh, 6 months.
Yeah, we're just on top of him a lot. He like Sam. That doesn't sound right at all. What happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors.
Okay, you're just bringing more attention to it and making it way worse.
But we put a lot of time and effort into him. And like Sam, she fucking loves that dog. Every morning she gets up, she has coffee and plays with him outside. My sisters love him. Like he's surrounded by people that like put a lot of time and effort into him.
And he gets to go with Sam to her work at a doggy daycare place, get some social time with actual dogs instead of just people.
So he knows how to, he's not freaking out when he sees other dogs. He knows how to play with them. He doesn't freak out when he sees strangers. He doesn't try to bite them or be aggressive or like run away. He's 6 months old and he was off the leash like virtually the entire time.
It's ridiculous.
He didn't run off. He ran off one time. The only time he ran off was when it started pouring raining, and he see my sisters running to the beach to go in the water, and then he was like, "Oh, it's time!" And just boom, zoomed,
and
ran
was
with
unstoppable
them.
At that point.
Yeah, and then Sam ran down there to try to get him while I was grilling, and like the whole time I was grilling, I had to hold an umbrella because it was raining the entire time, and like rain was like putting the fire out, so I was just like this fucking miserable until I started drinking, and I was just fine. And then Sam was like, "Fuck it," and then she took off our clothes, got her bathing suit on, just went in the water with them too.
I mean, if you're getting wet,
right?
might as well.
Everybody made the best of the shitty situation, and it was cool. It was nice. Came back home, played the fuck out of Zelda. It was Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, I know I'm late to the game, but the game's fucking unreal. It's really, really fun.
We'll get to that a little bit in the gaming section. Let's get down to the brass tacks here. So that's our Memorial Day. One of the things.
Good weekend.
One of the things we did miss this weekend, just yesterday, was a Game of Thrones: The Last Watch. It's a documentary, little feature film, basically.
That's what it's called, The Last Watch.
The Last Watch, yeah, which is clever. That's what they call for the Night's Watch once everyone dies. But this is like the last thing that you watch for Game of Thrones, basically.
Yes. This little,
barring the prequels.
Yeah, the first Game of Thrones saga.
So the documentary follows the show's crew as they reveal some of the behind the scenes shit. And you asked me this earlier today because neither of us were able to watch it.
Right.
It's not following the show's producers, David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, because they do the inside the show things after the actual episodes.
So this is something different than that?
This is following the crew, like the makeup artists, the scene designers, a couple of the actors. They show Kit Harington, Emilia Clarke, that's Jon Snow, and Dany. They'll show them reading scripts and shit. There's a little bit of Sophie Turner, but that's pretty much it for the actors.
I'm excited to see the acting parts. I've seen, like Game of Thrones has released like 30-minute behind the scenes things on YouTube for every episode. I've watched them, and it breaks down like it took them 55 nights to shoot the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah,
and then like the episode 5 when they destroyed King's Landing, they literally built a whole city of like I think it was like 6 or 13 blocks of like King's Landing. They built it first of it just being completely destructed, and then they built over it to make it look like it wasn't destructed. So when they did fuck it up, it blew up the right way, kind of thing.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of the set designers and the things that they do, and it's surprisingly informative. The difference between them building an entire fucking town and destroying it, and then building it again, and them doing like a giant green screen or something and throwing Emilia Clarke on it or something. Right. But I mean, it all worked super well in the show. I will be interested to see how they put it all together. Apparently there wasn't very much information from the writers in the film.
Huh. What's up?
I know, right?
Shocker.
I guess maybe just trying to protect them and their livelihood, because I'm assuming if they show literally anything, a good percentage of the population that watches it is going to be fuming about it. Cause, oh, is that all you were doing? You were just fucking writing it? You weren't even considering other options or something? I can imagine the type of butthurt.
I definitely think that it's going to show how much work they put into this season, because a lot of people, I included, or myself included, say that the writing could have been better. They could put more effort into the writing. But as far as
a little more time or something,
as far as the production and as far as the thought and effort into the battles and all that, that is out of this world.
Bar none.
Yeah, that's best cinematic experience of any TV show.
Yeah, it would be nice to have gotten a little look into the writer's point of view, but the documentary itself got like an 8.8 review, so it's definitely a good watch, I think. I'll be interested to see it.
Yeah, we'll watch it
probably today or something.
Tonight or tomorrow or something like that.
Maybe we'll see.
But, I also, speaking of Game of Thrones while we're on it, I was watching Emergency Awesome. He's a YouTuber. I get all my content that I put on the podcast, I watch pretty much from YouTube. Don's a reader. He's a Redditor, and I'm a consumer based off of just listening and watching stuff.
Yeah, you watch you learn your shit in garbage time when you're taking a shit, showering,
stuff like that
at work.
And
I do mine at dedicated podcast research times.
I do that as well, but I also do that at work.
I guess yours is smarter.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be more as efficient as possible. And he did like a Q&A video. I think he uploaded it yesterday or this morning or something. I was watching it. And people were asking, like, how come Jon had to go to the wall? And that was one thing I was like, he didn't really, like, have to go to the wall. Like, they said that. I'm like, okay, we'll cast him off to the wall. But everybody, like, then, like, they Unsullied left and all that. So who's to say
there's no threat to him or anything.
Right. But, like, he was trying to break it down and saying, like, a lot of the writers were expecting us to kind of, like, put 2 and 2 together for a lot of this season, which ideally is, like they should have expected that wasn't going to happen,
right?
And they should have expected people are going to critique this season more than any other season. And he was saying that there was still a lot of Dany followers, like not just the Unsullied and the Dothraki. There's a lot of people that like represent, like after seeing what she did and killing the Night King and saving the people. There was a lot of, like they said, the what's those, the Sand people,
Sand Snakes,
that place,
Dorne.
And other cities like that, like they were still following Dany. And when they killed Jon, or when Jon killed Dany, a lot of those people, if nothing happened to Jon, would have had some kind of rebellion, and there would have been a longer war.
Yeah, so if anyone's going to know that, it's going to be Bran.
Right. So they were, I think, he said that he thinks that the directors and the writers were assuming we were going to put 2 and 2 together, which they shouldn't have.
What I thought you were going to go there is that we should put 2 and 2 together, that it's not Jon Snow being forced to go. That's where he ultimately should go. That's where he wants to go.
And he also said that too. He's like, because Jon literally did one of the hardest things that he had ever
He chose duty over love. That was
like
the theme of the show, really, if you look back.
And he thinks that he wanted Drogon to kill him. Because like after that, like, how do you live with yourself? And obviously Drogon didn't. And he said they wanted a bittersweet ending. Yeah. And that would have been too sweet of an ending for Jon.
To go out together.
Go out immediately. Like, the bitter part is...
He has to live with it, like Aemon Targaryen.
Right. So he went to the north, which is probably where he's most comfortable and like most feels at home. But he has to live with what he did for the betterment of the realm for the rest of his life, which is one of the hardest things. Like, Jon Snow had went through the fucking ringer in this shit.
I know, but I mean, if you look back to history of Game of Thrones, Aemon Targaryen went through some shit as well. He refused the throne. All of his siblings died while he was at the wall. I can only fucking imagine.
It's great. It's a great. The whole entire Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin's
poetry.
Unbelievable. Yeah. He also, one of the other questions they asked him was, how would he have ended it? And he said like he's gonna do a whole nother video on it, but he briefly ran down it, and he said he would have had like 10 seasons, and season 6 would have been normal. Like, Jon would have died, like been resurrected. They would have had the Battle of the Bastards and all that. Season 7, him and Dany would have met, and they would have been battling Cersei. Like, it would have been the battle for the throne. But then the Night King just continues to be a threat. Jon convinces Dany to go to the north with him to show her like how fucked up this threat is. Both of them almost die. They almost lose Drogon. They lose one dragon. And
isn't that exactly what happened?
Not really, because he went, like, she was already on his side before.
Yeah, they went to prove to Cersei, but that's pretty much the only difference, I think.
So, like, they went to the north and seen all that, and then Dany, like, has this unbelievable hatred towards the Night King after what happened to the dragon. But they're still fighting Cersei at the time and his thing. And The Night King breaks the wall like normal, and he flies down to King's Landing and fucks up King's Landing and fucks up a lot of people and forces Cersei to be allies with Dany and everybody. So it's the humans versus the dead. And then, like he said, the entire season 9 is the long night of them just battling all kinds of battles, and people are dying, and they lose Jorah and certain people like that. But then eventually they kill the Night King, and then it goes back to Cersei versus Dany and Jon in season 10. But then
fighting over the leftovers.
Right. And then Cersei does similar things by killing Missandei, and people know who Jon Snow is now, like during season 8 or season 9. I forget exactly what he said.
Right.
And then that continues to grow as like a threat for Dany in her own head. People are conspiring against her. She has this unbelievable hatred now for Cersei, and she keeps saying she wants to destroy King's Landing, and people really didn't think she was very serious about it until she actually does it. Forces Jon to kill her, and then Jon casts himself off to the Night's Watch. So that was his ending, which I think ideally maybe would have been better. I don't know. We'll see. I paraphrased that completely. He said a lot more details than I did.
Essentially just adding more time to let these things develop, see that growth of Dany from loving queen to mad queen.
Putting her through the fucking ringer with shit. And then he said also he would have more backstory with Bran and all that. So pretty much what we wanted to happen is just more, we like the ending. It makes sense.
Just need more explanation.
Right. And that's pretty much all I got for fucking Game of Thrones, man.
We'll
watch the 2-hour thing
until Blood Moon comes out. That's all we're gonna talk about
next year, dude.
Yeah,
that's not
there's already an Instagram account for it with a bunch of behind the scenes shit on there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man!
Shit's moving fast.
It's a good time to be alive. Game of Thrones. Knights of the Old Republic trilogy.
We need to skip ahead a little bit. This is the time where we need to Disney freeze ourselves and then come back a year later because I can't wait this long.
I know.
We got the Mandalorian coming out, all these new Marvel shows when Disney's streaming service comes out.
The Loki TV show is gonna be great. The Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, and then I think there's a Vision and Scarlet Witch TV show. Obviously, the Mandalorian TV show.
Yeah, just said all that, man. Don't recap specifically.
I recapped the Marvel ones, bitch. Fuck you.
That's what I said. Disney is Marvel.
I broke them down more.
You're a douchebag. Moving on.
It's true.
Welcome to the gaming corner. As Nick said, he's playing Breath of the Wild. I'm still finishing Skyrim. I'm very proud of myself to be keeping up with it. Every single day, I check the Steam store to find a new game. But
do you really?
Every single day, honestly. It's like an impulse thing. Just let me just sleep. Maybe there's a special or something. Maybe I'll find something I like. You never know. But instead, I play Skyrim. I'll add a couple mods to it if I feel like spicing it up.
I bet you. Because you're officially done smoking pretty much today.
Yep.
I bet you throughout the next weekend that you'll get better at not looking at it and continue focusing on what you want to do. And
I guess we'll see. I can't really tell if when I smoke if I get more focused or less focused, because essentially what would happen, and I'm glad that it hasn't negatively affected me now that I've stopped, is when I smoke, I'll get so involved in the game that I'll do every tiny little thing and try to be as immersed as possible, and I'll make 0.2% progress into the actual game.
And then you look at that and you're like, there's no way I'm going to beat this game.
And then I just stop and find a new one and do the same thing for that.
Yeah. Well, now that you're not smoking, you probably will do things that you enjoy, but also you're all right, motherfucker, you got to stay on the task to get some shit going on.
Right. I'm staying focused. I'm doing the big things that I want to accomplish. I've started as a vampire hunter, something that's different from your normal start, which is in case, because you don't know, you haven't played Skyrim.
You briefly told me
a little bit. You're supposed to start as a dragonborn and you're fighting these dragons, but I'm kind of circumventing all that.
So you start off as a Targaryen pretty much?
Kind of, yeah. Pretty much. And I
way to copy Game of Thrones.
I thought about creating Rhaegar Targaryen as my character, but instead I decided to make myself.
You mean you want to create Jon Snow?
No, Rhaegar Targaryen.
Why do you want to be him? Why wouldn't you be Jon Snow?
Rhaegar's cooler.
No, he's not.
Aegon Targaryen is literally never said. Jon Snow's a fake Targaryen. Tell me I'm wrong.
How is he fake? He's literally a blood.
He never even says his own name. Not once.
So that makes him fake?
Yeah, he doesn't embrace it.
He's just not proud of it.
He's a Stark.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Did you know that house is called Tarstark?
There's a Tarstark house now?
Tarstark, yeah. They have a wolf and a dragon symbol. It's cool.
I know that.
Anyways, where was I at? So I'm playing now. I'm more focused. Without the weed, I'm still doing,
some side stuff.
Some side
you gotta
stuff.
Do some stuff.
Yeah, yesterday I got in a fight with a giant and his pet mammoth. Meanwhile, what's it called? I wrote it down. It was very specific. A needleback dragon flew by and started fighting the giant and mammoth.
You?
What?
It helped you?
They were both trying to kill me, but I moved them together so they would start killing each other, and I just took a step back. I have a vampire follower, despite being a vampire hunter. I'm thinking I'm role playing as Blade here.
I was gonna say.
Shout out to Ryan Reynolds, by the way. He's making a couple appearances.
Wesley Snipes.
Ryan Reynolds is in the third one.
I know about Wesley Snipes, dude. Blade.
Yeah, I know who Blade is.
You pay your
I'm
taxes.
pretty much the white Blade in this game. So I've technically still not made that much progress in the main story, the whole dragon bit, but this Dawnguard, this vampire hunter thing is something that I want to finish anyway, so just starting to get that out of the way now, making some good progress there. And I'm pretty happy that without weed, I'm still enjoying it and still keeping up with it, and I'm just glad that you're enjoying Breath of the Wild with the same issue.
Fuck out of it, dude.
Possibly enjoying it more.
It's supposed to be
actually accomplishing shit.
It's like my most enjoyable game I've played in a while. I played it I've been feeling to play it I'm gonna work my ass off all week and
then play 3 hours of Zelda.
I'm gonna earn some time to play the game.
And then I would come home and be like, "So what's up?" And you're like, "I didn't play any Zelda at all."
Well, I don't enjoy games unless I feel like I earn them, because if I don't, the whole time in my head I'm like, I'm not enjoying it because I think of all the shit I should be doing.
Yeah.
And it's just not as fun. So after I do everything I feel like I should be doing and I feel like I earned the time, then I enjoy the fuck out of it. And that's pretty much what I did with Zelda. I wanted to play it a lot on Saturday, but I had to get shit ready for the gang coming over, and I had to do some yard work. Yeah. And which I was happy I did it. And then afterwards, I played it Sunday, so I was good. And Breath of the Wild is I'm sure you guys, if you don't know, it's way different than the regular Zelda games in the sense that it's a way more open world.
It's wide open.
And there's a lot more things you can do opposed to just getting heart containers and skeletas and the temples.
The RPG mechanics are way more fleshed out.
Right. They've definitely put a lot more detail in this game. And one thing I kind of bummed me out was I was told that there's not temples in this game. And I was like, damn, that kind of ruins the whole game for me, because temples are some of the funnest parts.
But it's replaced with a lot of other shit.
Right. So I was like, I'm still going to give it a chance. I'm still going to play it. And I started playing it, and it's still amazing.
I'm pretty sure you're going the wrong way story-wise.
Well, what like Don was saying with Skyrim, he kept getting sidetracked by everything and getting no progress done. I feel like I was doing the same shit with Zelda, because there's so many new things. And I'm like, oh, there's these little mini, you fight these little fucking lizard-looking motherfuckers and you get their treasure, and
they're everywhere.
Yeah, that shit is everywhere. And I just kept doing that, and I feel I wasn't making any progress on the main quest. So yesterday, I was like, I'm gonna start focusing on the main quest. So I was doing a lot of the shit for the main quest. I found the fucking found the Great Fairy Fountain and upgraded my armor, and got to the part where the only main missions for the main quest was defeating Ganon, obviously, which you can't do yet. Finding the Guardians and finding all the 12 locations on the map. You don't even know this part yet, but basically you've gotten to Kakariko Village.
Yep.
And then she tells you to go visit somebody else.
Yep.
And you see me visit the other person, and remember how I had to get the blue flame? I didn't know what to do with the blue flame. I figured it out. And after you get the blue flame, she upgrades your Sheikah slate, and she pretty much gives you an upgrade where you take pictures. And it shows you old pictures that you had built in your phone of shit you took, or you or Zelda took 100 years ago. It's trying to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
So part of that is you got to go find all those locations and then take pictures. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming you either get a flashback, or there's somebody there that will give you more details. And she's like, okay, go talk to Impa again. Then I'm back to Kakariko Village. That's when I found the Great Fairy. Did a little bit of shit there, upgraded my shit, and she talked to her, and she's like, okay, find the pictures, find one of them, come back to me, and I'll give you an upgrade. So that's kind of where I'm at for the main quest, that and the Guardians. And I was like, okay, for the maps, it's not telling me where to go. It's just saying, basically, I got to look at them and kind of judge where to go. The guy who tells you about the Great Fairy Fountain in Kakariko Village, he gives you a location of one of them. So I do have that location. I have to talk to him again to figure out exactly where it's at.
I gotcha.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go to one of the Guardians.
See what happens.
And I had no idea how far ahead of the game where I is for the Guardians.
You're fighting some strong enemies. You got 6 hearts and they're one banging you.
Yeah, every single time I'm getting one hit. And it's fun in the sense that when I do kill those people, I'm getting weapons that are like so strong. Like I'm used to like the weapons and it has like the number of how strong they are.
Like 15 or something.
Like 15 is really good. Like every once in a while I'll get like a 20. I'm like, woo! But like everything I fucking kill now is like 36, 24. Jesus. And these are just like easy people. Like ideally they're supposed to be easy people.
Right,
for
just
me,
little minions.
Hard as fuck. I gotta pull out the stops. I gotta get my bomb arrows. I gotta plan ahead, throw bombs where their explosions are. I gotta freeze them. And I'm dying a lot, but I eventually found a big ass tower for one of the where the Guardians are, and the big ass tower is once you climb them, it like unlocks that part of the map for you, kind of like in the Spider-Man game where you find the.
Oh no, that's a huge genre, dude. Far Cry has that, Assassin's Creed has that, the towers situation.
I didn't know.
It's a big thing.
So I unlocked one of the towers for where one of the Guardians are, and I was debating on like fast traveling back to where I'm supposed to be, and just slowly making my way down there and like finding the maps and getting more hearts and doing more of those. What are they called? Shrines. And but then you convinced me like we're already so close. Let's just go to the fucking Guardian. So I started getting super close. I got very fucking close to the Guardian, and I got one banged again. And every time I get one banged, it doesn't save where I'm at, so it saves me where I'm at the fucking tower.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I am gonna go find the Guardian, but let's do some work first and like do the podcast and all that. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I have 5 hearts, and I'm gonna go see where one of the Guardians are. I don't know if you have to talk to them. I don't know if you have to fight them. If I have to fight them, I'm just gonna be like, all right, I know where it's at now.
The goal is to release them, right? Release the Guardians. They're like imprisoned or something.
Yeah, so obviously you gotta
There's
fight
gonna be
something.
some kind of watch guard or something.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see what it is, figure that out, and then continue to play the regular. I guess their story now is I gotta look at the maps, figure out where those camera things are.
Yeah.
Also, while I'm there, just running along, getting more shrines so I can get more health and better stamina, because I am lacking stamina.
Stamina.
Cordelia style, big time. And I have so many things that I've harvested, food, items, little things to make elixirs.
Inventory is full.
Yeah, it's extremely full, and I have not put the time or the effort into either looking up, which I kind of don't want to look shit up in the game. I want to experience it myself. And I haven't put the time into like creating stuff to like help me in my journey.
Fuck around with that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my next portion.
I'm sure that's a whole like optional thing. I doubt you can like get stopped by the game because you're not making the right food meals or something
but
like
it would
that.
definitely help. Like there's certain bosses, or not bosses, but there's certain monsters that have like electric, and I got like certain herbs, and if you read them and it's like if you create something with this, it'll make you immune to electric damage, right? And things like that. Like I should be on. Help out. I should be on top of that shit.
It's been very surprising me watching that game how little it holds your hand, considering Zelda's supposed to be like
not a hard game.
It's not a kid game or anything by any stretch of the word, but it is for that kind of audience.
Right.
So to play it like that, I'm very surprised because Skyrim, like you have a giant ass indicator saying exactly where you need to go, like over the door that you need to walk through.
Like all the time.
Yeah. But Zelda is just like in this area and find what you're supposed to. If you die, figure out how to beat it.
That's how Zelda has always been.
Pretty crazy.
And like I've put in like how I was saying with kids, all they have to do is just whatever they're passionate about, and they put hours and hours in.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, I put thousands of hours in, and it was like just like back in the day, like stupid shit, like not following the main story at all, just exploring and finding new things, and like you eventually figure out how to do it. And it's like they just kind of like let you go, like, oh, go ahead, little guy, figure it out on your own.
I guess even back then I would look up like walkthroughs and stuff, try to find hints. So
I never did, but I did get beat by Majora's Mask. Like I could not figure that game out for nothing. And it was like back when I first started playing it, the moon was kind of scary to me. And it was like more of a dark game, so I stopped playing it. But eventually I like watched a walkthrough of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, I gotta play that game eventually.
But you're just not.
Not yet. Breath of the Wild's priority.
I'm trying to think if I had any experiences like that where it was like challenged to a point where I just had to stop. I can't really think about it like that. I don't even know. No. Eventually I started cheating. I'm not gonna lie. Because I play on PC and there's like literal like programs that'll hack into the game, add 1,000 credits or whatever, what a currency, make you super powered up.
The only game I really cheated was like Grand Theft Auto games. Like,
oh yeah, you have to though.
All the rest of them, I pretty much did. Like the ones that I beat, I did legit. But I did spend another game where I spent thousands of hours on is RuneScape. And I remember when I was a kid, I would have the funnest time just doing trivial shit like killing chaos druids and farming herbs there, like, and it wasn't the best. Like now hindsight, now that I know so much about the game, I know that's not the most efficient thing to do. So I couldn't enjoy playing the game by doing that, like doing non-trivial shit. And it kind of like bummed me out for playing RuneScape. And that's like what I do not want to happen with Zelda. Like I don't want to look up the only thing most efficient things to do. And then I'm gonna be like,
it,
I'm wasting my time doing this fucking exploring when I shouldn't be, or things like that.
Why am I using this Bobokin arm when I can find all of the great swords in the game and just use those and dominate?
Yeah, I want to enjoy it and I want to learn it for myself, and it's been fun.
It's been a good experience so far. Mm-hmm. That's good. So we're still powering through our video games despite the lack of weed. Go us.
Yeah,
I'm proud.
Weed is not as bad as people make it out to be as far as like quitting and all that. You can definitely we've stressed it like almost past like 5 podcasts. Yeah. Weed can be very bad for you if you allow it to be, but just like anything is. Mm-hmm. You just got to be able to hold yourself accountable and be disciplined. And if you do those things, like if you look at trends of people who are positive and people who are happiest in life, they do those things. They hold themselves accountable. They have goals. They
try to limit themselves as well as far as like what they indulge in.
Right. They're hardworking. They reward themselves for their efforts. They get self-satisfaction from their efforts, and that's pretty much what we're doing.
Yeah. It's easy to talk about, but a lot harder to do, that's for sure.
But when you do it, you feel good. It's the truth.
And you just got to ride that feeling. Keep doing it even when it feels like it might not work out in that moment. Just trust that it will.
Keep doing it when you're injured and shit in the NBA playoffs.
Shout out. Nice segue. That was real slick.
You're fucking going off like Kawhi Leonard.
I cannot believe like Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors beat down Giannis.
Dude, he's my superhero right now. When I think of like an inspirational cat, I have trends of who they are at the most important times. Like Kobe's it for every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Or The Rock's it for every once in a while.
A little bit
Will
of Jordan
Smith,
or LeBron in there.
Kevin Hart, something like that. Joe Rogan, obviously. But right now, it's Kawhi motherfucking Leonard.
It's kind of ridiculous. I guess the question was always going to be which star has the better supporting cast, right? That's kind of how I built it up. I always thought the Bucks had the better team, quote unquote, and Kawhi, while the best player in the NBA, is not going to be able to shoulder load himself. Pretty much did. Well, he only got like 6 more points than Giannis in that last game 6. The Bucks team actually did do better, I feel. They had like at least 6 players above double digits in points, whereas Raptors had like 4.
The important thing is when did they get those points?
At crunch time, when it
mattered.
Kawhi
got them. That's what separates him from most of the players right now, is that he is clutch and he is game, and he does whatever is necessary to win at the very end when you need to.
It's true. We go back to that iconic shot, that bouncing 3 to end. Was it double overtime or was it just about to go to overtime?
I think it was just about to go to overtime. Game 7, Philly. It was one of the top 5 best shots of all time, easily.
Yeah, maybe not even this playoffs though, because you remember that Dame shot above the Thunder.
But this was way more critical.
Was it because it won them that game too, and they beat the Thunder?
Yeah, they beat him in 5 games. This was a game.
It was game 7, last second. Yeah, I guess so. One of the big standouts, and possibly the only difference between the Raptors and the Bucks, is Fred VanVleet. I don't know if you heard the story at all.
He had a kid.
Let me walk you through this because it's involved. It's fucking involved. Let me see. So the Bucks had more distributed scoring across the team, but they had an 8% 3-point differential. Yeah, like the scoring was balanced, like point wise.
I feel like the Raptors had way better supporting cast points. Their bench was outscoring Milwaukee's bench by like 20 points, at least for games 4 and 5.
Maybe the bench, but Bucks had more players with above double-digit
starting
points.
Line.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Fred VanVleet coming off the bench before his son was born, and it was born game 3, I think. He missed game 3 for his son's birth. Came back game 4.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. So before that, he had 15 games in the playoffs, 4 points per game. 26% field goal percentage.
Ouch.
8 for 41 from 3. Mm-hmm. 8 for 41. That is what? I'm bad at math. 33 missed shots? Is that right? Did I just get a simple subtraction problem correct on the first try? Thank you. I'll be here all day. After his son was born.
Never seen a fucking 26-year-old. So proud of that.
I went to art school. Fuck you. After his son was born, 3 games. 16 points per game versus the 4.
So you went up by 12.
68% field goal percentage.
In case you didn't know.
Versus 26. Shut up. 14 for 17 from 3.
Yeah, I heard he was like 80%.
That's
3.
Fucking absurd. A good 3-point percentage is like 40.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had 14 for 17. The Bucks were plus 40 when Giannis was on the floor and Fred VanVleet wasn't, and they were tied when Giannis and Kawhi was on the floor. But the Bucks were minus 30 when Giannis and Fred VanVleet were on the floor.
I like it, dude.
And you know what the scoring differential was throughout the series? 30 points.
So he made the difference?
He was the exact difference. How fucking absurd is that?
I like it.
When asked about it, Fred VanVleet says that's the formula. Just have a bunch of babies and let it fly.
I mean, nothing is going to inspire you more than a kid.
How fucking nuts.
Like a cowboy Cerrone in UFC, undefeated since you had a kid. Like, you get like I don't have a kid, but I imagine you get a new sense of what is more important in life.
Not only that, but it's a big swing going from about to have a kid to you've had a kid. Because about to have a kid, I can only imagine the amount of stress, the amount of like
fear,
anticipation and anxiety that comes with that. Being able to let go of it afterwards and just focus on the game, maybe put a lot of that energy towards
you're
like,
also
doing it for the kid.
Right, that's the most important. Like you're gonna work out that extra hour. You're gonna fucking shoot those extra shots if just because you know that you're gonna have an example. Like you're an example for a kid for the rest of your life.
He was plus 65 throughout the series.
Amazing.
That's absurd.
I love how the Toronto Raptors are playing right now. I really do. Everyone is doing their part. They are playing like a championship team.
It's not everybody, unfortunately.
You don't think so?
I'm gonna go into some of the things that they have to do. Obviously, they're going against Golden State Warriors. Durant is probably going to be coming back at like mid-series.
Mid-series?
I've heard they might even get Cousins back. I'm not sure how that's going to affect like the chemistry of their team.
Let them have those two back and see what happens.
But a lot of people are like riding the high of what Curry, Draymond, and Clay are doing without Durant. Mm-hmm. They only have like a 5-point differential in their games, which is not that much, not a big margin. It's certainly a lot lower than when Durant is on the team.
Trailblazers got swept, but that's not telling the full story.
Yeah. The problem with the Trailblazers is they try to play the same game as Golden State, and you're just not.
They weren't clutch when they needed to be. Mm-hmm. Just like the Bucks. They fucking played good, but they did not perform when they needed to.
One of the people who did not show up in this series was Danny Green.
Oh, yeah.
He is one of their big 3-point shots, and he fell like right the fuck off, like 1 for 8 or some shit. He actually started getting benched in favor of Fred VanVleet. But it's not fine. Fred VanVleet is very short, and the Golden State guards are very tall. Danny Green is tall, and they kind of need him there for both his defense and his scoring against these guards. But if he can't score, then they're going to be in a rough time because Fred VanVleet's not going to score. So, Fred VanVleet's not going to stop Golden State.
Do you think, realistically, what do you think is going to happen?
Realistically?
Yeah.
Warriors in 6.
In 6? So you give the Raptors 2 games. I thought
There's one thing though that I don't know if this has happened before in the Warriors little dynasty they have, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time they do not have home court advantage.
They don't have home court?
They do not. First 2 games are in Toronto.
Because Houston was game 7.
In finals, I mean.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
They've had it every single other time.
I think so.
So the first 2 games are going to be in Toronto. I think they have to win those games. Next game goes back Golden State. Obviously, the next 2, I mean. So if they lose either one of those first games, they're down 3-1 going back in Toronto. I think they just don't.
I don't. Here's something.
Maybe they win that last game in Toronto, but then they go back to Golden State and they lose that 6th game.
Here's something that I found very interesting. I heard from Max Kellerman. Okay. I listened to a lot of their debates.
Sure.
And when Golden State first got Kevin Durant, and they're like that new he explained it as Golden State before was a very a championship team, a dynasty, and they add Kevin Durant, and then it just makes them an unfair dynasty.
Yeah.
Their first series in the playoffs was against the Spurs, and they were down by 20 points in the first half against the Spurs. Then Kawhi got injured, and then they got swept.
Yeah, that was when Zaza was there, and he quote unquote allegedly purposefully injured Kawhi.
Right. But think about that. Kawhi was on the Spurs.
Is Kawhi at 100% health right now?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. He's beat the fuck up.
But Kawhi is on that momentum path where he is going to perform.
You're starting to see it, though. There was a couple moments at the end of the game where he was choosing to not rush in and dunk it or something.
True.
He would pass it out because he just doesn't have the legs under him anymore.
But everybody else is performing, and they're all trying to they're all doing their part. Maybe they're not performing, but everyone is doing their part as far as a championship team. Right. They all have the mindset of similar to Golden State, where they don't care who gets the points. As long as they win the game, that's the most important. And both teams have that, so that's they're pretty much even there.
Yeah,
right?
I think that'll be the difference maker. I mean, the supporting cast has to show up. Kawhi's gonna have his hands full. He's got Draymond, Iguodala, and Clay, all great defensive players. Probably will be rotating around and give him different looks.
He's probably gonna guard. If you're going to State, you want to make Kawhi work as much as possible.
Yeah.
So he's gonna guard the person who's gonna run around the least. So Steph is out of the picture. He ain't guarding Steph. Steph moves nonstop. Clay probably moves second most in the team. So he's probably gonna be guarding Green or Clay, I imagine. But he's gonna be ideally only guarding people that aren't gonna take the most energy out of him. He had to guard Giannis this series, and he did it very well.
Yeah, they were even
And
going up, like I said.
Right, and I don't think anybody's going to be harder to guard than Giannis on that team. Other than
until Durant comes back.
Other than Kevin Durant. But even, I'm still very curious to see that.
It'll be interesting, yeah.
Because I do think Kawhi can shut Kevin Durant down.
Green's going to be playing center, I think, unless Cousins comes back. So that's going to be Marc Gasol versus Green. Gasol's definitely got the size, and he's a 3-and-D type player. So that could match up well. The problems are going to be Lowry versus versus Steph. And we'll have to see what Pascal Siakam does.
Well, Steph's a lot taller than Lowry.
Mm-hmm. But Lowry's he's
unbelievable playmaker.
He's a goddamn nuisance.
That, and Steph's not that good defensively.
True.
So,
he can be exposed, that's for sure.
Kyle maybe able to ball out. I don't think he's going to get like 20 points a game, but even if he gets like 10 to 15 points a game and he fucking limits Steph.
If he can enable the rest of those 4 players to...
Kawhi, as long as they don't get injured, he's getting 30-plus points every single game. I don't give a fuck. 30-plus points, 9-plus rebounds, couple steals, couple blocks. He's gonna be doing that every single fucking game because it's Kawhi motherfucking Leonard. I think he's the best player in the NBA.
I agree.
And as long as Kyle can do his part, and then you got the supporting cast, like Fred VanVleet. What's that homeboy I was telling you he wears the white shirt? I keep forgetting his name. And like that guy, he makes like a lot. He makes threes every once in a while. He has like a stone cold face. I mean, when we were watching, I was like, "That's the guy I was talking about." I can't remember his name.
Ibaka?
No, it's not Ibaka. Ibaka was fucking crushing it at 1.2. Ibaka versus Green might be a decent matchup right there.
Ibaka has like flashes of greatness, but I'm pretty sure Green's gonna be playing center.
Who's more physically dominant? Ibaka or Green? Like who's gonna be the
Green?
Who's gonna be muscling in the
Green is way beefier.
Is he?
Ibaka's longer.
Ibaka looks pretty fucking big, dude.
I think they'll be playing different positions. I don't know who Ibaka would be guarding, but I'm pretty sure that Green's playing center, so they'll be against Gasol unless they do some rotations and shit. I don't know.
I think the Raptors.
It's not impossible.
They have what it takes to get it done.
They definitely do.
And if they do, I will be so fucking happy. Kawhi will be like, this will be like one of those series that defines him as one of the best players of all time.
How fucking crazy. He's supposed to be here for like a year. He's a mercenary. Like, they hired
him
like, just win us a
championship.
championship. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. If they do win, does he stay or does he take the fucking sunshine and money with
I heard
Kyrie?
LeBron's already trying to recruit him. Like,
I feel like he's been trying to recruit him for 2 years. What do you mean?
That's so disrespectful. Like,
Is it?
Yes, he's in the finals. Leave him the fuck alone. You wait until he is done and then you can recruit him.
I mean, what?
Obviously, I don't think Kawhi's going to be thinking about that shit.
I doubt as well.
But come on, LeBron. Like, I think from a respect standpoint,
this is the first time LeBron has not been in like media blackout mode during the playoffs. I bet he doesn't know what the fuck to do with himself.
True, but that doesn't mean you fuck other people's shit up.
It's clearly not fucking him up, is it?
No,
they've beaten more than what they should have.
That's true, but
so quit being offended over nothing.
I'm not being offended over nothing.
You are. Like, LeBron, really? You're going to do that? I think it's
disrespectful. I think it is disrespectful.
If Kawhi complains, then you can complain.
No, I can complain. They might not have like a good stance for it, but I think LeBron wouldn't appreciate it either. If somebody was
LeBron wouldn't know because he does a media blackout.
If he was trying to be recruited, if like KD or somebody like that was like, hey, you need to come over to this team while he's in the finals, and he's like Supermaning it like how he did with Cleveland against Golden State. And what was that, 2016? I think.
You think people didn't do that?
Hell
you think
no.
Magic wasn't doing that on that last year?
No, I think he waited.
I think you're wrong.
I think he waited until the fucking first day free agency and he came up there in midnight. And was like,
I'm pretty sure he received a text as soon as that last game ended.
Yeah, as soon as the last game ended.
And that doesn't mean that they weren't talking beforehand.
And do you think LeBron wouldn't take it as disrespect if he was getting texts before?
I'm sure he was taking it like, yeah, let's do it, bro.
I don't think so. He's like, really? I'm over here trying to fucking do this great thing. Fuck out of here, Magic.
I think neither of us know. And this is
true.
All
I would imagine that's what would happen. I would imagine if you have something, a task or a goal so big, and the pressure that is around you is fucking unbelievable, and if you accomplish it, amazing. You won a championship for your city, something that you've said you want to do your whole fucking career, and then you got recruiters trying to recruit you. Fuck out of here.
Who cares?
I got something.
Ignore him.
Yeah, he will.
And he did. And they're winning.
You don't know.
What you bitching about?
I'm saying it's disrespectful. And I think Magic wouldn't have done it because I think he would know, he would understand why. He'd be like, no, you gotta wait. Because also, I think, too, isn't that like a tampering thing? Like, can't you like get in trouble for that? Like recruiting? Yeah, recruiting when
What have you heard about LeBron recruiting Kawhi? What'd he do?
I've heard from I don't even know if it's true, but like I said, like I listened to a lot of those reporters and shit. I heard that they've been like, or he's been like texting him, and he's been not only him and also Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving. I get the K's mixed up.
That's ridiculous.
But pretty much all I hear is like he's texting him and he's like asking them to meet up and shit.
I think that's not that
meeting
bad
for
at
dinner
all.
and stuff
I think
like that.
you're overreacting.
I think
especially considering it hasn't resulted in literally anything negative. Like, what's the problem?
Well, let's say he did. Let's say Kawhi.
If. Who
let's
cares?
Let's say Kawhi did go to dinner with him, right? And then he started thinking about his future and thinking about where he's gonna go and all that shit. Do you think he's gonna perform as well as he did? Like, if you look at Kyrie and he's thinking about the future, look how fucking shitty he played.
I don't think it's nearly comparable.
Why?
Because I don't think Kyrie's problem stems solely in the future. It stems with the team and the relationship that he's both built and ruined on that team.
He wasn't trying to focus on fixing that. Instead, he was focusing on his future.
I think he was trying to play the game. He was focused on himself, saying that he's not going to play that bad, and then he did.
Right.
I don't think it was because of his future prospect. I don't think it was because LeBron was asking if he wants to come to LA. I don't think throwing in a substantiated if.
You're right.
If LeBron takes Kawhi to dinner and Kawhi does poorly, then what? Then I'm right?
I'll give you that. But what I'm saying is Kyrie is doing it, the way that he did it is completely the wrong way. He wasn't holding himself accountable. He wasn't trying to win with the team.
But what's that have to do with LeBron texting Kawhi?
Nothing. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
But I was saying for his Kyrie, I feel like as soon as things started getting bad for him, instead of trying to figure it out, like when you're down 2-0 against the Bucks, like Toronto was, right? Weren't they? Yeah, they were.
Yep.
And then they fucking won on 4. Like, Kawhi wasn't thinking about his future, where he should be being traded, where he's going to go, what teammates is he going to bring with him to which team. And
that's
all that.
why I think
I bet you Kyrie was.
I think that's why it's non-issue, because that's not a LeBron problem. That's not a tampering problem. It's not disrespectful of LeBron,
it's the person. It's
how you deal with it. If no one talks to Kyrie, I'm sure was still going to find a problem to interrupt his game.
I agree with that.
If, like, Kawhi's parents, like, got super sick or something, I'm sure that would distract him, but I bet you would still give his all no matter what, because that's the kind of player he is.
Okay, I'll give you that. True.
Okay.
But Kyrie definitely handled it the wrong way.
True. He doesn't have what it takes to be the guy.
I wouldn't want him on my team at all.
I'm still buying a Kyrie jersey if he goes to LA with Kawhi.
I think that's the best thing he should do, but I don't think he's going to, just because he's too proud. And I think that's going to be the demise of his how good his career could have been. Not saying it's not bad.
He could have been like a better than Scottie Pippen type player, but instead he wanted to be Jordan.
He can get multiple fucking championships if he decided to be humble and just accept who he is. Yeah, he's not a Jordan. He's not somebody. He's not a Kobe where you have that. He has that mentality where no, I'm the best and I'm gonna prove it, but he just can't prove it. Whereas the other people did.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Kawhi showing that he does. It'll be interesting to see if. I think it really does come down to that home court advantage. If they can take 2 games, their chances are pretty good at finishing out. But if they lose
think they can win a game
if they lose 1 game at home, they have to win a game in Golden State.
I think they can.
I don't think that's physically possible for them.
I think they can. I think you're going to be surprised at how well.
I was surprised at how they played against the Bucks,
and I think it's going to be very similar.
But they're not going to have Fred VanVleet.
Defensively,
Fred VanVleet's not going to shoot 87% from 3.
Toronto defensively is amazing, right?
Kawhi is. Siakam and Gasol are, but how do you stop the pick and roll? How do you stop Clay, especially if he's guarded by Fred VanVleet, who's like 5'0"?
He's not going to be guarded by him.
He would be. Kyle and Fred VanVleet are their guards.
Do you think he's going to start though the first game?
If Danny Green can't shoot, Danny Green started every game, I'm pretty sure, and he had like the worst percentage ever. So
okay,
Danny Green's got to make his shots.
Okay, but even if he doesn't make his shots,
then you got to sub in Fred VanVleet.
Defensively, you don't have to.
I don't think he stops Clay.
You don't think he limits him at all?
That's the only thing he can do. But that's not a good enough contribution to beat the Warriors. You can't just limit Clay and then contribute nothing else. Can't. It's got to be 5v5 and more, including the bench. But I'm just talking starter-wise.
Who's Golden State starters right now?
Without Durant, that's a good question. Let me look it up.
Steph, Clay, Iggy, Green.
I don't know if Iggy starts.
I think he does.
Also, he doesn't like being called that.
I don't give a fuck.
That's literally what we say every single time. We'll figure it out. It'll be interesting to see, as we've said numerous times now, but I don't know. So you think, what's your like over-under on the Raptors pulling it out? What do you think?
I definitely think Golden State has the odds.
I fucking hope so.
But I am somebody who's very optimistic on the teams that I root for. And I'll look at reasons and I'll look at things that may not make the most sense, but I just feel like it's going to happen. Kind of like with Eisenman being the GM. Like, I feel like there's so many other variables that are going to happen just because he's a GM.
And this is why we have so many arguments, because your shit's unsubstantiated.
True, but I mean, look, if it worked out for Kawhi.
Whatever. Fuck you.
Because Kawhi's a
fuck you, man.
I think Toronto can win. I think it's going to have to go 7 games, but I think they're going to split the first home series. I think they're going to split it in Golden State, so it'll be 2-2. And then I think Toronto will win game 5, so it'll be 3-2. I think Golden State will win at home 3-3, and I think Toronto will win in this game 7.
I don't think they could win in Golden State.
That's me. That's what I want to happen.
Sure.
If I had to bet my life on it, obviously I'm going to pick Golden State because they're the favorites. And realistically, you got 2 fucking MVPs on your team. You got 2 playoff MVPs on your team because Steph was never a playoff MVP. You got 2 of the best shooters of all time on your team. You got Draymond, who is one of the best defensive players in the game right now. Very good facilitator. If Boogie comes back,
goddamn.
I mean, it's not fair. But honestly, too, like you said with the chemistry, I wouldn't be surprised if they do have the starting 5 of the Splash Bros, Green, KD, and Boogie if the fucking chemistry's not there, because I don't think they had that starting 5 for maybe more than 10 games this whole year.
It wasn't very much.
And I bet you that chemistry is not there for the playoffs. And the chemistry is there for Toronto. Like, I feel like they got their shit together.
I hope so. They better.
Look what they did against Milwaukee. They adjusted and they fucking beat them in 4 games.
Yeah, it got kind
Milwaukee did not adjust at all. They kept trying to give it to Giannis, and Giannis cannot perform the way he thought he could against Kawhi. I think it'll be similar with KD. I don't think it'll be as dominant, but I definitely think KD will not be that guy that says, you know who I am, and just drops 50 on Toronto. I don't think that's happening once. I don't. I think
that's going to happen.
I don't think KD is going to drop 50 on Kawhi.
By the time KD comes back, there'll be 3 games in the series. Kawhi might be fucking tired as shit.
Maybe. Or they're up fucking 2-0.
The thing with the Warriors compared to the Bucks is you started to see it towards the end of Game 6. They tried to do, like you said, just give it to Giannis, have him drive inside, and it didn't work. It was sad how they would get stuffed. But Golden State has shown their pick and roll play that they run with Steph and Draymond, kick it out to Iguodala if he comes around. It's shown to be unstoppable. Who stops it? Fred VanVleet?
Kawhi?
Who guards Iguodala?
Okay, so when you do the pick and roll, it's Kyle versus Steph, right?
It's Kyle versus Steph with Draymond. Draymond sets a pick. Kyle has to switch on to Draymond, leaving whoever's guarding Draymond on Steph. And then
Kawhi?
They pass it back to Draymond, who's now being guarded by Kyle Lowry, just shoots over him. Or if Kawhi comes and helps him, then he just passes to Iguodala, who dunks it. They've done it. They did it 4 times in a row against the Rockets, and they do shit about it.
I think Toronto will be able to figure that out.
They have to. And if they don't, then they just pass it to KD, and he shoots it. They have so many more options other than just give it to Durant. That's not just the thing.
If you look at the Bucks, Middleton, he's like a mini Clay, right?
He had a bad series towards the end as well.
Because they were shutting them down defensively. You look at the game.
He was just not missing. He
wasn't having open shots, though. They were all contested.
But he used to be making those.
He didn't making the contestant shots? Mm-hmm. Sure, but not when it's crunch time and you got everybody
exactly when it's crunch time. He was making every shot, it seemed like. And then he just
when
started
was it crunch time?
During Philadelphia.
No, they didn't even face Philly.
Who didn't?
Milwaukee?
Oh, you're right.
Milwaukee fucking swept the Pistons.
It was Boston.
And then they beat Boston in 5.
They were crunching on Boston.
No, there was no crunch time with Boston.
They were crunching. Boston. Like eating them up.
Yes. So, and then once the pressure got on them, they started fucking choking because of Toronto's defense and the momentum swings. Kawhi shutting everybody down, and they're in the moment like, oh my God, this is happening. And they've never been in that moment before.
You have so many just conjectures. You're just predicting it.
So huge.
It's just all this
envisioning it.
I'm pretty sure you're just I'm pretty sure this is what was happening, so you're wrong. That's your game plan.
Yeah. And your game plan is
I'm trying to throw as many stats and shit to you as possible.
They faced Philadelphia and they did it.
That's not what I said. I was saying Chris Middleton was doing well in his last series. I got the opponents mixed up. Yeah. Excuse the fuck. I mean, it doesn't invalidate my point that he was still having a great series up until Toronto.
Yeah, he was having a great experience against
it's not like Kawhi was guarding him. Who was guarding Chris Middleton? Fucking Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, and look what happened.
Chris Middleton's bigger than Siakam and, beefier as well. And so how does Siakam stop him? He was just missing.
Because he was there. It wasn't a brand open fucking shot. It was a very highly contested shot. If you watch the games, it's not just one player on them too. It's the whole team storming, running back and forth, back and forth. They were just giving it their all. They'll do the exact same thing against Golden State. I'm not saying that they're not good. Like, I definitely think Klay is, like I said, Chris Middleton's like a B-side version of Klay, right?
He's a power forward. It's a completely different position.
True, whatever. But he makes threes. Like Giannis will like drive in the paint, get people on him. They pass to the Middleton.
It's a catch and shoot play.
That was their strategy. They can do the same shit. Golden State will do the exact same shit. Klay, half the time he just stays on the outside, just waits, gets the ball to him, and then he shoots.
If that doesn't work, give it to Steph. If that doesn't work, give it to KD. If that doesn't work, give it to Draymond, do a pick and roll, give it back to Steph.
Which the Bucks try to do something similar to that on a much smaller level with way less all-stars and way less experienced players who have gone to the finals. Yeah. So it's going to be way fucking harder because when the times get tough for Golden State, they will adjust. They have the coach that has been there so many times, player and coach. They have the players that have been there so many times, and they all have the mindset that they just want a championship. They don't, all of them be excluding maybe KD, because I don't think KD necessarily has that I want to win a championship, I don't care how many points I get mentality, where the rest of the team does. Because everybody took a step back for KD as long as the team won. And it's the truth. They did.
Just because KD didn't do that doesn't mean that KD's like unwilling to do that. I think that was just their game plan.
That's why I said I don't know if he has that or not, which we'll find out.
I have to imagine. I don't see the Warriors like embracing KD as a brother if that's the kind of attitude he has. Like, no, give me the ball and I'll score it for you. They're not going to accept that.
True. Maybe he does it in a better way, though.
You got to fit into the role. The role, like the Warriors aren't going to fit around
his role was being that number one guy.
I think that's what they wanted.
And he performed every single time. And it made, like, everybody's stats were lower.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Everybody excluding Steph's.
That's like
Steph
math. That's just math. You're adding another high percentage ball dominator.
True, but
they didn't fit him into their little pick and roll scheme.
KD would do that though? Do you think KD would be like Green, where you're only averaging like 8 points a game in the regular season, and then as soon as he's out of it, he's fucking getting triple doubles, averaging what, like 18 plus a game? And then do you think KD would do that for Steph, or do you think KD would do that for Klay, where they're gonna get 45 points a game, and then KD is gonna go from getting like what, 40 points a game, 35 points a game, to dropping down to 20?
You think there's been no situations where KD got 20 points and everyone else got 40?
Yeah, I think he did in OKC, and look how that worked out.
There's been no situation where Golden State this year, Kevin Durant, or last year where Kevin Durant only got 20 points.
Not where that's the strategy, no.
Is that on KD or is that the strategy? Because I don't think KD fits very well into their little pick and roll scheme that they run. So what they have him do is
I'm saying the team
play ISO ball and then they fit the scheme around him.
I'm saying the Golden State team strategy will never be, okay, KD, you're going to have to sacrifice your role a little bit here so other people will be able to be in better positions to produce.
Because that's wasteful, because KD can make literally every shot.
Yeah.
Draymond cannot.
Okay, but when he was given the opportunity to be...
If you give KD the opportunity, he's going to get 48 points, not 18.
And then everybody else's points go down, and then
who cares? It's percentage based.
It like evens out. Like the points
per
game.
It can, but it's not guaranteed. Kevin Durant is like guaranteed points. It's just if the rest of the team performs as well.
Kawhi is not guarding him.
We'll see, won't we?
We're going to see.
We're going to see.
I got Raptors in 7.
That'd be nice. Just don't see it.
I'd be happy.
That'd be nice. Happy. I'm fine with that.
So
it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Kawhi is gonna make history, guys. You heard it here first. Nostra Nicholas.
Long-winded discussion. I did not plan on it.
A lot of meaningless arguments just to have. That's okay.
Got it all out though. A lot of intense emotions.
I talk briefly about MMA.
Sure. What's up?
Because there hasn't been that much news going on.
Yeah, it's been a little slow.
Which is fine. Because they go through spurts of like a fucking card every weekend, and then they have a couple weekends. It slows down
a little bit, yeah.
Gives you a little break. You need a little break because then you miss it and you come back and
too much of anything is dangerous.
Yes. So, we haven't talked about the Nate and Pettis fight too much at all, really. Like, I'm obviously when they announced that, I was super ecstatic because I'm like the biggest Nate fan on the fucking planet.
It's pretty absurd, yeah.
I think I told you a little bit about the beef history with them.
A little bit.
Like Showtime has been. He was on Ariel's podcast a couple weeks ago. And he was talking about how he wants to like hurt Nate and he wants to break him and all this stupid shit. And like how he's saying that Nate is like he's nothing but talk, or like he's a real tough guy in front of everybody else, but he's just running his mouth like everybody does with Nate. And the reason why, because if you don't know, a lot of people may not know, but a long time ago, Gilbert and Showtime fought. Gilbert Melendez. They were fighting. That was when Showtime was a champion, and Gilbert was one of the up-and-comers. He earned his title shot, and they fought. Showtime beat him with a submission. He was a very underrated submission artist, Showtime is.
Oh, absolutely.
And there was a lot of beef then just because Nate, that's his boy, that's his brother. They train together. He's one of the what do we call him? His riders or whatever. What is a sling? I don't know. And I think that's where Showtime's trying to hold on to that, to where he's like fucking pissed off. He's gonna hurt him and blah blah blah. You know it's at 170 too, right? Mm-hmm. So both of them won't have to cut weight. They'll be in. Obviously, Nate's in phenomenal shape when he's.
And 170 Pettis is fun as fuck.
Based off one fight.
I know, it was fun as fuck.
Yeah, based off one fight. Which that fight Wonder Boy was landing his shots for sure. But Showtime was there the whole time. Yeah. It was a chess match, and Showtime checkmated him. Pretty much is what happened. If you want my early preview, you ain't never gonna hear me pick against a Diaz, bro. Because I will find, like I said, when I'm passionate about things, I will find
a way.
I find a way to spin it. But let's break it down. Okay. Who is the better kicker, Showtime or Nate? 100% Showtime. Mm-hmm. Who has the better ground game? 100% Nate. Yeah. Even though Showtime's jiu-jitsu is underrated, very underrated. Nate's jiu-jitsu is a fucking another level. Mm-hmm. Who's the better wrestler? Nate.
Really?
100%.
Like wrestling?
Yes. Nate is underrated. He's an underrated wrestler. Okay. That being said, when he goes against like some of the best wrestlers in the game,
get exposed a little bit.
He does get taken down and he can get dragged down. Rory McDonald, RDA.
I guess that could be part of the game plan.
But if you're
better jiu-jitsu wise.
True.
It's hard to say.
Showtime, whenever he is fighting a wrestler, gets virtually dominated almost every single time. Nate, it's a different story. Sometimes he gets dominated, and
but you wouldn't classify Nate as a wrestler.
No, not at all. But he has very underrated wrestling, the same way Pettis has underrated jiu-jitsu.
So it could play a factor.
Yeah. Who's the better boxer?
Nate.
I say Nate. That being said, it's
not like anything can't happen.
Yeah, like Showtime's like a 3rd-degree black belt in like Muay Thai, I believe. Whatever Edson's is. He's like the same level.
Same.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
And he's like a class above Edson, like a belt above him. But he got outstruck by Edson. So, like you gotta factor in who gave him what belt, like who you were training under, because it's a lot harder to get a 3rd-degree black belt under like a fucking Gracie opposed to like somebody else. You know,
makes sense.
And so if you look at their stand-up overall as a package, I think Showtime he has more tools in the toolbox. He has more dynamic strikes. But if you look at the fundamentals and you look at who was more consistent,
Nate's tools are just nicer.
Nate's more clean.
He's got the high quality hammer, with the rubber grip. It's real classy.
Who has the stronger mental game in the fights? Nate, bar none.
Yeah.
Showtime's quit in fights. He quit against Ferguson. He had a broken arm, but he quit. Nate never fucking quit. He never quits in a fight. Ever. Literally ever. I can't think of one time he's quit.
Okay.
If you like combine all that together, I think it's a good fight for Nate. I think it's a fun fight for the fans either way.
Yeah.
Because I think Showtime is back on his shit as far as his mental game goes. Because there was a while there where he was doubting himself.
Yeah.
And all of that. Nate never had that issue. Nate's always been on his shit.
But Pettis still, he seems like he's buying his own milk,
He's smelling what he's shitting.
Exactly.
So they're both going to go into that fight extremely confident. So it's going to be a fun fight. But I think it's going to be kind of like a Cowboy versus Nate fight, where both of them didn't really like each other. A lot of beef from the very beginning. All that fucking talk is going to get to Showtime's head, just like it did to Cowboy. Showtime's going to realize Nate ain't this. Oh, I think he's fake. I don't think he's really like that. No, Nate's really like that.
Or what if we get unmotivated Nate?
It's not happening.
There's no. When was the last time you saw him? I saw a promo not too long ago for Nate's return, and I see very much footage that was like
how fucking
recent.
Shredded he was?
That was like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah. You think he ain't training? Everything I hear about Nate is he's just fucking fiending in the gym. He wants to fight so goddamn bad.
Fiending.
But he's a smart businessman at the same time. You call him stupid, you call him whatever. He's a smart guy. He's only going to fight for what he's worth. And he knows what he's worth now. And the UFC knows it too. So they're going to have to fucking pay him. And they're paying him. And Nate ain't going to miss out on money. He's not stupid like that.
He's not going to miss out on money, but he hasn't fought in 4 years? 3 years?
He's not going to fight for one. He's not. What I'm saying is, because you're saying the unmotivated Nate.
Yeah.
He's not going to go into any fight unmotivated anymore, because he knows.
Would you have said he would be going into fights unmotivated before?
Yeah, he did all the time.
But like, why?
He was not getting paid enough. He felt. I don't know what's in his head. I would imagine it would be things like he's not getting paid enough for the fight, or he feels like he should be fighting higher caliber opponents, or he feels like he should have a title shot by now.
But is Anthony Pettis the guy that fixes all that? Like, is he really like? How do we know how much he's getting from this fight?
I guarantee you, it's the third biggest payday of his career behind the 2 Conor fights.
What is that saying a lot?
Yeah, I guarantee you, it's $1 million at least.
I guess.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
It's no red panty night, is all.
$1 million ain't a red panty night.
Not anymore.
You are out your goddamn mind. $1 million is a red panty night when you're not fighting Conor McGregor.
Exactly, you're not fighting Conor McGregor.
He's getting $1 million. What do you mean?
If he's fighting Conor McGregor, you get $2 million.
He's getting way more than $2 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, way more than $2 million.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
That
$1
it's
million
not a penny
$1 million ain't enough to motivate Nate Diaz?
Could be not. He's already got much more than that. Over twice.
Yeah, okay.
Over twice that.
And
twice.
like you said, he hasn't fought in 4 years.
That's true. I don't know how much money he spends on tequila and those Cabo nights.
He beats Showtime. Why does he fight Conor? Why doesn't he fight Conor next?
Why doesn't he fight Conor now?
Because UFC's stupid.
Okay.
That's why.
there's our end
UFC
of our loop.
Has they have weird ways of justifying their things. Like Conor, you have to fight you can't fight in a main event for some reason.
Yeah.
So fuck all the money we're gonna make.
It does seem like they have some petty reasons for their shit.
Yeah.
Nate, you disrespected us, so we're not gonna give you the money fight that you want right away. If you want to work for it, you can. And I'm sure Nate was resistant to that. Like, no, I'll just not fight then.
But then he has been training and fiending for a fight, so fuck it, I'll fight Dustin. And then Dustin got injured. Oh. Fuck it, I'll fight Showtime.
Okay.
He had a fucking unbelievable knockout against Wonder Boy.
Right. So what I'm saying is, fuck it, Nate. As good as Red Panty Night Nate. That is my question.
I think it's the same Nate. Nate came into the Conor fight as fuck it, and fucked him up.
Fair.
And
but I mean, he had nothing to lose.
And everything to gain. He sees the opportunity.
What if he loses the Pettis? Does he still fight Conor?
Why the fuck not?
Fair enough.
Why the fuck not?
Stupid money fights. That's the problem.
Conor's probably gonna lose his next
fight. Throws all the
fight.
logic out.
If he doesn't fight Nate, if he fights El Kukui, good luck. Yeah.
Conor's been in the news recently. I'm gonna switch topics now because we've been getting in the habit this episode of just lingering on ones that we disagree about.
Well, that's fine because I was gonna talk about Conor as well.
So Conor, I've heard, has been talking to Urijah Faber lately.
That's what I was gonna talk about.
Yeah, giving him go get that snake, go get that weasel, or something like that. Apparently they're
pretty
friends?
good buddies.
Yeah, I
mean,
even know.
you could tell that if you watch The Ultimate Fighter.
You can see the clips. Yeah, they being serious.
They like shit talking each other.
Faber's is this guy serious?
But it's in a joking way.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they genuinely liked each other. You could tell Conor genuinely respected Uriah's work, his body of work that he did.
It's hard not to.
If you look at, realistically, if Urijah Faber wasn't ever a fighter, these lighter weights might not even be in the UFC at this point. Or they may not be to the level that they are. He was like the Ronda Rousey for the 135, 145 pound fighters.
Gave it its name, put it on the map.
Yeah, he was the cool little guy, and he made him popular. So I'm sure Conor respects that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that he said that he was talking to, I think it was Dan Hardy and his, and he was saying that him and Conor talk every once in a while, and Conor was telling him to get that snake.
Yeah,
obviously he can't because it's 2 years for TJ, so Uriah would be fucking 42, something like that.
Yeah, so that's probably not the fight for Uriah. No, so
but Uriah
you didn't mention that Uriah is trying to make a return, trying to have another fight.
No, he has a fight. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He signed the contract. He has a fight. I don't know who it is yet. Nobody knows yet. I think Dan Hardy knows because they started talking about it, but they can't announce it yet.
Could be like Dom or BJ Penn, maybe.
No, it's not BJ Penn. The thing is Urijah Faber retired, but he didn't have to retire. He retired because he wanted to
pursue other ventures.
Yeah, his last fight was against Brad Pickett. And he fucking dominated him.
Do we know if those ventures didn't pan out, and that's why he's trying to come back, or maybe he's just got the hankering that every retired fighter seems to get?
He talked about why he was coming back. One of them was obviously when you're not fighting and you feel like you still got it,
you get the hankering.
Yeah, that. B is he just had his kid, so you get a brand new motivation.
Everyone wants that motivation.
C is he's an entrepreneur. And he even said that in the Dan Hardy interview. He goes, I'm an entrepreneur. I know that if I get X amount of money, I could turn that lump sum of money into this, and I could turn this money into that if I invested the right way and my plans go through. And they do. He has many businesses, a bunch of them. He has a real estate business. He has a nutrition-based business. He has a few smoothie shops. He has the MMA. He has the gyms for Team Alpha Male. He's a manager, I believe, for a couple fighters. He's a very, very smart guy. And the best, the only way he's going to get a huge chunk of money at one time, better than bar none for him, is fighting.
Get a little injection of cash.
Yeah, and if he still got it, which if you look at his past fight,
no reason he shouldn't.
He does have it,
yeah.
And he maybe not a champion right? But easily top 5.
Still one of the best pros.
Yeah.
That it's been.
And he has the face. He has the money behind him. He has the face behind him to get the money that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And he has, like you said, brand new Dono Cowboy Cerrone motivation with your kid.
Just needs that right opponent, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm curious to see who's the opponent. I also wanted to talk about Urijah just because he lost his Polaris fight against Nick Ryan.
Polaris, is that like a grappling thing?
Yeah. Nick Ryan's like that phenom. Gotcha. That really young kid that he lost in points. He didn't get finished or nothing. But that was pretty much expected.
Sure.
Let's look at the UFC rankings real quick. Because it could be Dom.
They've both been out of fighting for what now? I feel like 3 years, 2 years.
Dom, I think, it's been 2 years. He's been injured.
Yeah.
But
doing some commentating work.
I hope it's not Dom. I don't think that's a good fight
just because you think Uriah loses?
I don't think that's a good fight for him coming back into the UFC. Like, I feel like that's something you build up a couple of times.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at the top 10, like, Marlon's number 1. He's fighting Henry for the title.
He'd probably get worked by Marlon.
Right off rip, yeah. A Sunsel, it would most likely lead to, like, a decision for a Sunsel.
Mm-hmm.
Very close. I don't know. I think Uriah can win that fight, though. Aljo, I think Uriah can win that fight. Aljo has been looking really, really good, though. He fucking beat Jimmy Rivera when, surprisingly.
That was surprising.
He was dominant. Pedro Munoz,
Hmm.
He just fucking knocked out Cody. He's been popped for steroids too. Cody's the undefeated fighter. If you don't include
Steroid
steroids,
loser.
Yeah. And then you got Cruz at 5 just because he's been injured for so goddamn long.
Yeah.
Cody, he ain't fighting Cody. Although he did say some people are thinking he was subliminally dissing your Cody because he was saying you see how some people when money comes into play or you have a kid or something like that. And you kind of lose your drive. You lose that fire that was inside of you that got you to where you are. And people are speculating that he was talking about Cody. I don't think he was talking about Cody. I think he was just using it as an example.
As a general, yeah.
And maybe Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, John Lineker. Those are the top 10.
I feel like it's got to be a name. I mean, it's Urijah Faber. It's got to be a name people know.
John Lineker. People know him.
Are you going to be excited about it?
Fuck yeah, Uriah's fighting.
Would you be...
And
you're obviously less excited to be fighting Dom.
John Lineker is...
From Munoz.
He'll knock your head off.
Fight Munoz. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, he can fight Munoz.
I thought you just said he popped. He's not suspended?
No. He's popped in the past.
Ah.
Yeah, he hasn't popped recently.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't know. That's weird. It'll be interesting to see.
I don't think they should give him... I don't think they should give him a top 5 fighter right off rip. They should give him top 10. John Lineker's 10.
Is there like speculated he's going to fight again after this, or is it just a one-off injection of cash like that?
No, he's fighting. He said he wants to make a run for it. He said like a title is not the number 1 priority right now, but we'll see what happens.
So he's like almost in BJ Penn delusional city.
No, he ain't delusional at all. BJ Penn's a fucking delusional. Uriah can say that, and he has the skills to say. Who's going to argue that? Like,
well, if he loses and he keeps going,
true. Then
well,
it depends how he loses. If he loses
by getting pieced the fuck up, sure.
Right, but he hasn't ever.
Yeah.
Like literally ever. All of his losses have been close decisions or where you could tell someone's running away with the fight. Like Jimmy Rivera barely won in a split, a unanimous decision. He did just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dominic, his last fight with him, Cruz fucking. You could tell he was the better fighter.
Yeah.
The second fight with them where Cruz won I think it was a split decision. He barely it was a close fight, you know. Other than that,
but I mean that's the history of Faber. If you look at the history of BJ Penn, he had a lot of great moments too. But it's been a while, and if he loses this one, there's like no guarantee that return to form is going to happen.
I do not think that you should be comparing Faber and BJ Penn.
No, you're right. It's
a
completely different scenario. But I'm just saying, like,
BJ
it has
Penn
been a while.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years. His last fight was 2016, so December of 2016. So, and it was a win against Brand Pickett. But then he lost a decision against Rivera, lost a decision against Cruz, he won against Frankie Saenz, lost a decision against Frankie, then beat Francisco Rivera, beat Alex Caceres, lost to the TKO controversial decision against Renan Barao when he had to stum up, and he said he's okay, and the ref stopped it. He submitted Michael McDonald when Michael was a fucking beast back then. Yuri Alcantara, decision, Scott Jurgensen. He only loses at the title fights. That are Frankie Edgar or Rafael Sunsao. Or not Rafael Sunsao, Jimmy Rivera. Sorry. He is like not nowhere near BJ.
Yep.
He still has it, yes.
You're using current tense for past tense shit.
What else am I going to do?
he was that good. We'll see if he's still that good.
And
Past tense.
There's no reason to believe that he's not that good though.
Rust is a thing.
He's not been fucking doing nothing.
Sure.
He just competed in Polaris
and lost.
Yeah, he didn't get finished. He lost to a fucking phenom.
It's a wrestling thing.
It's not wrestling.
That's what I asked. If it was wrestling. You said yeah, grappling.
Grappling. Difference.
So there was no punching involved. Is what I mean.
Okay. And he was facing a phenom who was not used to punching. You put Nick Ryan, Urijah Faber in a fucking MMA fight. That's a whole different new outcome. Urijah Faber fucking smoke him in one round.
Fair. I don't know.
I feel like you're being the pessimistic side. I'm being the optimistic side.
Being realistic, and you're living in the past.
No, you're being very pessimistic about it.
Not very pessimistic.
Yes, you're comparing it to BJ fucking Penn. How is that not pessimistic?
Because that could realistically happen.
He's not. There's nothing to show that though. Literally nothing. BJ's lost his last 8 fucking fights. Uriah's won his last fight. Then he lost 2 against a title shot and then Jimmy Rivera, who was on a 20-something win streak. And I'm not even exaggerating.
What's the streak for fighters that retire and come back? Do we know? What's the record, I should say? Yeah. But
there's people who retire and come back when they retired when they should have retired, and there's people that retire and come back when they still have something to give.
Well, how old is he?
He's 40.
That's old.
True. DC's 40.
DC's big.
GSP's old.
He
retired. He retired young, came back dominated.
He's like 36.
Okay.
Younger.
4 years.
That's a big difference.
I disagree.
It starts getting exponentially higher on you.
You got to also factor in how much damage they've taken their whole career.
Sure.
Which Faber, what? He's gotten TKO'd 3 times. Which I have no idea when he's been TKO'd, other than the Hennon Brown one.
Neither here nor there. I get what you're saying. Just a little wary of it.
Yeah, I think you're, like I said, I think you're being pessimistic about it. And I'm being optimistic about it, which is a good thing. I'd rather be an optimistic person.
Okay, we'll see when you're wrong, how optimistic you are.
I don't think, like I said, it depends who he's going to fight. I mean, the only way I'd be wrong is if he just gets fucking smoked like a BJ Penn, which I don't think is going to happen either way. Even if he fought Marlon, I don't think he's going to get starched in 1 round.
I hope not.
I think...
I'm not saying he's going to lose so bad that he rushes directly back into retirement. No, it is not.
You're saying he's going to be like BJ Penn, and BJ Penn is getting starched.
I did not say he's going to be like BJ Penn. I didn't say that.
I heard BJ Penn 8 times out of your mouth.
Yeah, I was pointing out that this shit happens. You can't just discount it because he's Urijah Faber.
You can't compare him to somebody who is fighting way past his prime. BJ Penn...
He is not way past his prime?
Not in the same boat as BJ Penn. He still has the
He's
tools.
still way past his prime.
Okay, but he's still a very capable fighter.
We'll see.
BJ's like a Chuck Liddell.
We'll see.
Uriah ain't no Chuck Liddell.
We'll
Uriah ain't no BJ Penn.
We're going to see.
And I can't wait to laugh in your fucking face.
We'll see.
That's all I got. I think.
What else? What else was there? I feel like there was something else. Elias Tudro got kicked.
Oh, yeah. Him and Justin Willis got kicked, which is interesting. I heard the Justin Willis thing is... I think they were talking. He said that it was like a contract dispute. So maybe they were trying to kind of yeah, you're Rodriguez. Oh, you don't want to fight? Get the fuck out of here.
And he was like, okay.
And then Elias Theodoro is kind of like he's just never been a very entertaining fighter. Yeah. I've talked about him in the past, how he got really good fundamentals and he fights to win fights, and he does pretty damn good job about it. Like in it, his UFC record's 8-3.
It's not bad at all.
And it's got top 10 fighters, but. He's the most exciting fighter in the world, and he's not a really good investment. I don't really see Elias becoming
doesn't have huge
star.
Potential.
Yeah, as far as making money off of him.
Right.
So.
Business decision then.
Tough cuts. It's tough to be 8-3 in UFC and get cut.
It's true. But it's not like there aren't any other promotions for him to go to.
True.
It's not like the end of the road for him. I guess we'll see what happens.
It's just shitty sometimes how the UFC can do that to fighters. You're not popular enough, but you still win a lot. Oh, but... You'll be all right.
It's shitty, but I feel like UFC is big to the point where you can't just make pure fighting decisions like that because you'll lose a lot of your casual fan base, which probably does bring in the bulk percentage of the money.
UFC is just too savage now with their decisions.
Yeah.
They're not really supporting the fighters like how they used to. They're not a fighter-friendly organization.
It's true.
They're a money-friendly organization.
I'm sure they could balance it a little bit.
They could, but...
money's money.
The Fertitta brothers aren't there anymore, and Dana's not really in charge.
Zufa.
Yeah, so
Wow.
Hopefully Bellator takes over. Kind of like I think
yeah.
Elite Fighting or like Elite Wrestling or some shit. I think they're like taking over WWE.
Elite Wrestling.
Whatever it is, like I think they're starting to like. There's like WWE has like a strong competitor now.
Gotcha.
And I think that'd be nice when Bellator 1 Championship does that.
That would be nice. Some fucking competition is always good.
It's good for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Justin will probably be back in UFC. Probably like if it's a contract dispute. Actually, I don't know. Because Yair has a name behind him, and Yair had a lot of momentum.
He's he's also like one of the top Mexican fighters. So that's a whole nation.
He had a market behind him. He's exciting. A lot of people liked him.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's a very exciting fighter. Like at his last fight against Korean Zombie, Justin Willis with his wrestle. Fuck you.
Nuts.
Yeah. So they're probably Bellator bound.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
So
That's been our show. If you guys like the show, make sure you go to pnacast.com. We have all our episodes there. We are updating it constantly. There's merch there for you to see. We have our YouTube videos up there. That's pretty much the only way to access our YouTube account because the page is like, the URL is youtube.com/channel/40b010, some bullshit like that.
We can fix that.
I don't know how it works. I'm not a YouTube savvy guy. It's just our NBA series and our regular YouTube clips and shit up there, but still should be some fun stuff for you to see. If you liked it, make sure you hit subscribe and rate it, share it with your friends. If you want to send us any shit talk.
If you want Dalton to text his ex, Happy Memorial Day, thank you for your service,
go to pnacast.com/pages/contact
and message him.
Don't do that. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to ignore that email.
I got you.
Nope.
You said it. You're legally bound.
If someone says that to me, I'm going to call them out on air. Be like, hey, person who wrote this, you're an idiot for writing this to me.
I'm going to do it on a fucking fake account.
You fuck. I'll happily call you stupid to your face.
Peace out, guys.
We'll see you next time.